And now, it felt impossible. Every second that passed without Ty's return tightened the knot of urgency in her chest. She realized that waiting, even for a minute, might cost them everything. The family tried to organize search plans, checking the usual routes, retracing Ty's steps, looking for any scrap of information that could point to him. But nothing fit. It was as if Ty had disappeared into thin air, leaving behind only the echo of his presence. Guilt began to creep in, clawing at Jack and Lou, whispering that perhaps, somehow, this was their fault. Amy fought it down, replacing despair with determination. Whatever had taken Ty, she would face it. She would bring him back. And as night approached, the ranch felt colder than ever. Lights burned inside the house, casting long shadows across the fields. But the warmth of family could not reach the emptiness outside. Ty was gone, and until he returned, nothing would feel whole. Silver Creek waited, holding its breath, and so did Amy. Hours passed, but Silver Creek remained silent, and Amy's worry grew sharper with every tick of the clock. Then, as she moved through the house, something caught her eye. A small, folded piece of paper tucked behind Ty's favorite mug on the counter. It hadn't been there before, she was certain. Her hands trembled as she picked it up, fingers brushing over familiar handwriting. Her heart raced. Yeah, this was Ty. A message left behind, but what did it mean? Amy unfolded the paper carefully. The words were simple, almost casual, yet they carried a weight that made her chest tighten. Ty's handwriting, usually neat and confident, seemed rushed in places, jagged in others. It was a warning, a plea, or maybe both, as the message didn't give answers. It posed questions, pointed toward danger, and hinted at sacrifices Amy couldn't yet understand. Her mind raced, piecing together what Ty might have been trying to tell her. Each sentence felt like a breadcrumb leading toward something bigger, something urgent. She showed the note to Jack and Lou, hoping their calm logic could make sense of it. Jack frowned, tracing the words with his finger. "This doesn't make any sense," he said, his voice low, almost afraid. Lou shook her, head tension in her jaw. "It's vague. But it's him. Ty wouldn't leave a message like this unless he needed us to understand something." Amy's fingers tightened around the paper. It was the first tangible clue, the first thread they could follow in the darkness of Ty's disappearance. Amy went back to the barn, the note clutched in her hand. She reread it aloud, letting the words echo through the empty stalls. "I'm okay, just not here." That line twisted her stomach. Ty had meant to reassure them, but it did the opposite. The calm in his words masked urgency, and Amy realized that this disappearance was no accident. Someone or something had pulled Ty away, and this message was all he could leave behind to guide them. The note also hinted at someone else. Someone Ty was protecting, someone who might be involved in his sudden vanishing. Amy's mind raced with possibilities. Who could it be? A neighbor? A stranger passing through? Or someone closer than they realized? Every thought brought more questions than answers, but one truth burned clear. Ty had left clues on purpose, and he had trusted Amy to find them. Determined, Amy started planning. She memorized every word, considered every meaning, began tracing Ty's steps based on the small hints in his handwriting. She refused to wait for him to return, refused to hope blindly. Ty had left her a map through his absence, and she intended to follow it no matter the danger. By evening, the family gathered, the note passed between them. Discussions growing louder and more frantic. For the first time since Ty disappeared, hope flickered alongside fear. They had a lead, however small, and that was enough to start moving. Amy's resolve solidified. She would find Ty, understand the danger he faced, and bring him home. Nothing would stop her. Not distance, not fear. And certainly not the unknown forces that had taken him from Silver Creek. The night settled over Silver Creek, and with it came a silence that pressed against Amy's chest like a weight she could no longer ignore. Every second without Ty's return felt like an eternity. Jack and Lou tried to convince themselves and heard that Ty would come back on his own. He was smart, capable, and always found his way home. But Amy could not believe it. Not this time. Something in the way Ty disappeared, something in the note he left behind, told her that waiting would only make the danger worse. Amy paced the living room, the small piece of paper clutched tightly in her hands. Her mind replayed every detail she could remember. The look in Ty's eyes the day before, the last words he said, the subtle tension in his shoulders. Nothing about that morning had felt normal, and now everything screamed that Ty needed help, help that would not come unless she acted. She realized with a sudden clarity that she could no longer sit silently, watching time slip away. Action was the only choice. Her decision did not come without fear. What if she couldn't find him? What if she walked into danger she was not prepared for? What if the forces keeping Ty away were stronger than she could handle? Amy's heart beat fast at the thought, but her determination burned even brighter. She would face whatever waited for Ty, no matter the cost. Losing him was not an option. Not when he had trusted her to see through the signs. Not when the ranch, their home, and their hearts depended on it. Amy called Jack and Lou together, her voice firm despite the trembling inside. "I'm going after him," she said. "I can't. Wait, I have to find Ty." Jack hesitated, his eyes filled with worry, but he saw the fire in Amy's. Lou shook her head slightly, voice tight with concern, but even she knew arguing would not change Amy's mind. Amy had made up her mind. Waiting was no longer an option. She had to move, and fast. She packed carefully but quickly, taking only essentials and the note Ty left behind. Every item had a purpose, every decision measured against what she knew of him and the danger he might be facing. Amy could feel the eyes of Silver Creek on her, the quiet support of the land and animals she had always trusted guiding her steps. She whispered Ty's name as she stepped outside, the cool night air filling her lungs. "I will find you, Ty, no matter where you are." The first steps were the hardest. The familiar paths of the ranch felt alien in the dark, and each shadow seemed to stretch longer than it should. But Amy pushed forward, her resolve carrying her through the fear. She would follow every lead, every clue Ty had left behind. She would not stop until he was safe. The world outside Silver Creek was unknown, dangerous, and full of challenges, but Amy's heart was stronger than any obstacle. By the time the moon climbed high over the horizon, fields, leaving Silver Creek behind, she carried more than a note. She carried hope, love, and the fierce promise that nothing, not distance, not danger, not time would keep her from finding Ty. Tonight, the search began, and Amy would not let the darkness win. As Amy moved further from Silver Creek, the night seemed to grow heavier, almost pressing down on her with the weight of every unknown. Every step took her deeper into a world of questions, and every unanswered thought twisted tighter in her chest. Why had Ty left? Was he in danger? Or worse, was someone following him? Someone who meant to keep him from returning? The possibilities were endless, and the fear that clung to her was relentless. Amy replayed everything she remembered from the last few days. Ty's distracted looks, the strange pauses, the heaviness in his voice. None of it had seemed important at the time, but now, in the quiet of the night, every small detail felt like a warning she should have understood. Someone or something had pulled him away, and the reasons were hidden in shadows. Was it someone he had tried to protect? Was it a secret he had stumbled across? Or had danger been closing in on him long before anyone even noticed? Back at the ranch, the unanswered questions gnawed at Jack and Lou as well. Jack couldn't stop thinking about past dangers, the times when Silver Creek had faced threats from outside. Lou feared that this disappearance was more than simple misfortune, that it was deliberate, calculated, and possibly sinister. Each new theory raised more panic, more guilt, and all of it came back to one thought: Ty's life might be at risk. And the clock was ticking. Amy pressed on through the night, every sound amplified in the darkness. A snapping branch made her jump, her heart hammering in her chest. She reminded herself to stay calm, to think like Ty would, to read the signs of the land, the wind, the rustle of leaves. She had learned from him how to stay alert, how to track, how to anticipate danger. Every lesson became vital now, because whatever had taken Ty was not going to wait for her to catch up. The note she carried, burned in her pocket like a lifeline. Ty had left her the first clue, but she knew it would not be the last. Someone, or something, had forced him into hiding, and the risk was real, tangible, and closer than she could see. She could imagine Ty's determination matching her own, fighting silently, hoping she would come. That thought gave her strength, a flicker of light in the dark, as dawn approached. Amy reached the edge of a distant road that led away from Silver Creek. She paused, taking in the first hints of light, and a shiver ran through her. The world outside was unknown, and every turn could bring safety or danger. But Amy's decision was made. She would follow every trace, uncover every. The sun rose over Silver Creek like any other day, but something was very wrong. Ty Borden was gone. No goodbye, no warning, no sign of where he went. His truck sat where he left it, cold and untouched, like he planned to come back but never. Did Amy felt it in her chest before anyone said a word. This was not a normal trip. This was not Ty chasing work or helping someone in need. This time, Ty had vanished, and the silence he left behind was louder than anything Silver Creek had ever known. Morning came quietly to the ranch, but Amy woke with a strange weight pressing on her heart. Ty was supposed to be home early. Had promised. It was not a big promise, not spoken with drama, just a simple line the night before. "I'll be back by morning." Ty never broke those kinds of promises, never. Yet the house felt empty in a way Amy could not explain. Were still by the door. His jacket hung where he left it. Everything looked normal, but nothing felt right. Amy checked her phone again, hoping she had missed a call or a message. There was nothing. No text, no voicemail. His phone went straight to silence. At first she told herself not to panic. Had done this before. Emergencies happened. Horses got hurt. People needed help. But deep down, Amy knew this was different. This time, Ty did not leave a note. He did not tell Jack. He did not even tell Lou. And Ty always told someone. Outside, the ranch slowly came to life. Horses moved in the fields. The wind brushed through the trees. Silver Creek looked peaceful, almost too peaceful, like it was hiding something. Amy walked toward Ty's truck, parked exactly where he left it the night before. The keys were gone, but the truck had not moved. That small detail made her breath catch. Ty would never leave without his truck unless something forced him to. Jack noticed Amy standing still, staring at the truck like it might speak. He asked where Ty was, keeping his voice calm, but his eyes showed worry. Amy shook her head. She had no answer. Lou joined them moments later, already tense, already thinking. Of worst-case thoughts she did not want to say out loud. The family stood together, surrounded by questions with no answers. As the hours passed, concern turned into fear. No one had seen Ty leave. No one heard him drive away. It was as if he faded into the night. Amy felt guilt creep in, replaying their last conversation again and again. Had she missed something in his voice? Had he been carrying something heavy alone? By noon, one truth became clear. Ty did not just disappear from the ranch. He disappeared from Silver Creek itself. And whatever pulled him away was strong enough to leave behind everything he loved. Amy had learned to read horses before they made a sound. She knew their fear, their pain, their calm, all before it showed on the outside. That same feeling now lived inside her. Everyone else was still hoping Ty would walk through the door, smiling like nothing happened. But Amy already knew. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. It was growing heavier with every passing hour. She tried to distract herself with chores, with work, with anything that would quiet her thoughts, but her hands shook when she touched the reins, slipped when she looked at the horses. Ty's absence filled every space, even the ones where silence used to feel safe. She kept thinking of the night before, how Ty's smile did not reach his eyes, how his hug lasted just a second longer than usual. At the time, she thought nothing of it. Every small detail felt like a warning she failed to hear. Amy called. The clinic first. No one there had seen Ty. Then she called the nearby ranches. Same answer. No Ty. Each call made her chest tighter. She left messages, short ones at first, then longer ones, her voice breaking as she tried to stay calm. Just call me, she said again and again. Please. Still, the silence answered back. Jack tried to reassure her. He said Ty was strong, smart, and capable. He said Ty always found his way home. Amy wanted to believe that, but her heart refused to listen. This did not feel like one of those times. This felt like the moments before a storm. When the air is too still and the sky looks wrong, Lou began asking questions, pushing for logic, searching for facts. But facts were missing. Ty's schedule showed nothing unusual. No trips planned, no emergencies listed. It's like he erased his trail on purpose. That thought scared Amy more than anything else. Ty never ran from problems. If he was gone by choice, then it meant he believed staying was more dangerous. As evening came closer, Amy stood alone near the fence line, watching the sun sink low. She whispered Ty's name, not caring who might hear. In that quiet moment, she made a promise to herself. She would not wait. She would not sit still in hope. Whatever truth Ty was hiding, whatever danger pulled him away, she would face it. Because losing him without trying was not an option she could live with. No one remembered it at first, not until Amy pressed them for details. Ty's last known moment in Silver Creek had seemed ordinary, almost unremarkable, but now looking back, every gesture, every word, every pause felt loaded with hidden meaning. The morning Ty vanished, he had helped Jack with the horses, fixed a broken fence, and even joked with Lou about her coffee-making skills. Everything normal, everything expected. And yet something had shifted, subtle, almost invisible. The last person to see him clearly remembered the quiet weight in his eyes. Ty had smiled, but it did not reach the corners of his mouth. There was tension in the way he moved, as if the ground beneath him had grown uncertain. He said goodbye to no one in particular, but his voice carried a strange finality, a quiet farewell that only time would reveal. That single moment, so small and casual, now felt like a clue, a secret left behind for those who cared enough to notice. Amy replayed the morning over and over in her mind. She remembered Ty pausing by the barn, staring at the horizon longer than usual, fingers brushing against the fence as though drawing strength from it. At the time, she thought he was simply enjoying the morning. But now she wondered if he was. Waiting, if he was thinking, if he was planning. And planning for what? For something that would take him away from everyone he loved? Jack described it differently, more practical. He said Ty seemed distracted, but that was just Ty being Ty always. Aware, always cautious, always thinking. Lou insisted she hadn't noticed anything unusual either, yet Amy knew. She could feel it deep down in the quiet, in the spaces between their words. Ty had left a piece of himself that morning, a part he could not speak aloud. Even the horses seemed to sense it. They nudged at him, but he moved on without his usual gentle reassurance. Something was pulling him away, and even the animals felt it. Amy watched the empty barn aisle where he had stood. The scent of his jacket lingered faintly on the hook. His boots were gone from the tack room. For the first time, she realized Ty had stepped out of their lives deliberately or been forced to step out. That last sighting became a puzzle Amy could not ignore. Every detail mattered now. The pause, the glance, the tension in his shoulders. It was as if Ty had whispered, a secret to the world and only she could hear it. And Amy knew she had to follow that whisper no matter where it led, no matter what danger awaited on the other side of Silver Creek. By the time afternoon settled over Silver Creek, the reality of Ty's disappearance had begun to sink in. The ranch, usually alive with movement and laughter, felt hollow, echoing with unspoken fears. Jack paced near the barn, hands shoved deep in his pockets, eyes scanning every corner as if Ty might appear from the shadows. Lou sat at the kitchen table, arms crossed, jaw tight, trying to force logic into a situation that refused to be rational. And Amy. Amy felt the weight of the unknown pressing on her chest, a cold certainty that whatever pulled Ty away was stronger than any hope they clung to. Questions flew in every direction. Who last saw him? Where did he go? Did he take the truck? Was he hurt? Each answer they tried to find only led to more uncertainty. Jack blamed himself silently, thinking perhaps there was a task he should have noticed Ty avoiding or a warning. He failed to read. Lou's mind raced through every possibility, from the mundane to the frightening. Maybe Ty had an accident. Maybe someone had followed him. Maybe he had chosen to leave to protect someone. But why keep it secret? Amy could feel the tension in the air, thick and suffocating. Every word spoken seemed fragile, almost meaningless against the silence that lingered like a shadow. She moved between the barn, the house, and the fields, searching for Ty in every corner, calling his name again and again. Each unanswered call twisted tighter around her heart. She could see the worry mirrored in Jack's and Lou's faces, the subtle hints of panic in their movements. They were all trying to hold themselves together, but the truth was unyielding. Ty's absence was not ordinary, and the ranch had never felt this powerless. Even the animals reacted to the tension. Horses shifted nervously in their stalls, neighing softly, sensing the unease that humans couldn't fully articulate. Dogs whined at the fences, circling as if searching for the missing presence. Every corner of Silver Creek seemed to whisper the same question: where's Ty? The land itself had become a silent witness to something wrong, a reminder that no amount of experience or courage could shield the people of the ranch from fear. Jack finally spoke, voice low and deliberate. We have to prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. Lou's lips pressed into a thin line, nodding reluctantly. Amy, however, could not wait. Sitting still had never been an option for her.